Počuť.
Svaviklettak já, kaldri vetrar nóttur á, verður margt að meini, fyrr en dagur fagur rann, friðið nefið dregur hann, undan stórum steini, undan stórum steini. Sofðu ungan ástin mín, úti rignið grætur. Mamma geymir gullin þín, gamla legg og völuskrin. Við skulum ekki vakum dimma nætur. Sofðu lengi, sofðu rótt, best mun seint að vakna. Mæðan kenna mun þér Kjetrega manna mest mæð af táraflóði að við hefðum aldrei sést. Elsku vinurinn góði. Sunnan yfir sæinn breiða, sumarilinn vindar leiða, draumalandið heiminn heiða, hlær og opnar skautið sitt. Vorið kemur heimur hlýnar hjarta mitt. Vorið kemur heimur hlýnar hjarta mitt. Riðum, rekum yfir sandinn, rennur sól á bakvið Arnarfell. Hér á Reykji margur og hrein andinn, úr því ferra skygja jökulsvell. Drottinn leiði drusulinn minn, drugur verður síðasti áfanginn. Drottinn leiði drusulinn minn, drugur verður síðasti áfanginn. Riðum, rekum yfir sandinn, rökkrið þeirra síga herðu breið. Álfa drottning að beisla gandinn, ekkert gott að vera henn á leið. Vænsta klárinn vill ég gefa til að vera komin ofan í Kiðagil. Vænsta klárinn vill ég gefa til að vera komin ofan í Kiðagil.
Neznámy autor z 13. storočia, veď mi na pieseň.
An unknown author from the 13th century Vedma's song. Hearing I ask from the holy races, from Heimdall's son, both high and low, the well Father, that while I relate all tales I remember of men long ago. I remember yet the giants of yore who gave me bread in the days gone by. 9 worlds I knew, the 9 in the tree, with mighty roots beneath the mold.
Ljóðs bið ég allar helgar kindir, meiri og minni, mögu heimdalar. Viltu að ég, valföður, vel fyrrtelja, fornspjöll fýra, þau fremst mann. Ég mann jötna, árum borna, þá förðum mig fæta höfðu. 9 mann ég heima, 9 íviði, mjöt við mæran, fyrr mold neðan.
Vidím stať stálu nad slnko jasnejšiu, tú zlatú strach.
A hall she sees standing, fairer than the sun, roofed with gold at Gimle. There are the worthy hosts to dwell, and in all the days of their lives enjoy bliss. Then comes the powerful one to the divine judgment, a strong one from above, who rules over all. Then comes the sky, dragon flying, a gleaming serpent up from neath they fall.
Þá kná hænir, laut við gjósa og burir byggja, bræðra tveggja við heimvíðan, vitu þeir enn eða hvað. Sal sér hún standa sólufegra, gulli þaktan á Gimle. Þar skulu Dyggvar dóttir byggja og aldurdaga yndisnjóta. Þar kemur inn dimmi, dreki, flugandi, náður frán, neðan frá nýðarfjöllum, ber sér í fjörðum, flýgur föll yfir, nýtt höggur nái. Nú mun hún sökkvast.
Vážení hostia, milí dámy a páni,
Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the Creative Center in Bratislava. Welcome to the final event of the pilot phase of the initiative called Studio 25 Iceland. We have just heard impressive stanzas from the book Voluspa, Vedma's song Eda, performed in Slovak by Kristina Domaňová from the Standing Conference of Stakeholders in Education, and in Icelandic by Branislav Berry from the Arne Magnusson Institute. Thank you very much.
Hudobný vstup bol zmesou známych.
And in the introduction, you also had the opportunity to hear a medley of typical Icelandic songs by Iveta Licha, Slovak living in Iceland for a long time. And the interesting picture you saw, apart from the pictures taken by the students, so the photo was taken by landscape photographer, one of the SCVR tutors, Filip Rebenda, entitled Born of Fire. Thank you very much for having this opportunity to have a look at Icelandic culture. Some practical information. We are also streaming online. We have 2 interpreters. So we have interpreting into Slovak and into English. So if there's anyone online, if you want to choose the language, click on the small globe icon. And also here in the hall, if you need interpreting from English or from Slovak, you can use the headphones. We are here available if you haven't got your own ones. And we will have a recording from this event that will be available on the website of Studio 25 Iceland. Now I would like to welcome very warmly all our friends from Iceland who have come here a long way. They've been with us. We've seen Košice, Banská Bystrica and Bratislava. I would like to also welcome the representatives of our partner institutions, and I'm happy to have also to welcome the representatives of culture, education and other, and also Arnold Kish from the Ministry of Education is here. Then we have Renata Kryžanová from the Ministry of Investment. Then we have a representative of the Embassy of Vienna, Norwegian Embassy of Vienna, then the representative of the Chasta municipality and other distinguished guests. And I would also like to welcome everyone who could not come here in person but are watching us online. And we are meeting here to conclude the pilot stage of this strategic bilateral initiative called Studio 25 Iceland. The aim was to improve mutual knowledge and understanding between Slovakia and Iceland through cultural education of the general public. We try to focus on young people under the age of 25. We did not want them to be just passive, like people who passively receive information on Icelandic culture, but also who actively participate in the production of beautiful audiovisual outputs. So we shifted or upgraded Cultural Education 2.0 to Cultural Education 3.0. And the slides we have seen here reminded us of our March trip to Iceland, where we sent 7 students to that country, and you will see a short documentary and student features, and there will be also one big documentary as the result of that initiative. And today we will see the outcomes. In total, 12 student features, and for the first time you will also see a trailer for the first Slovak documentary, which was produced as a collaboration between those young people and consultants from different areas of Icelandic culture and professionals from the Slovak television. And we have met many inspiring individuals, and we also received a message from the president of Iceland.
Read our books, the old sagas and the modern literature. Watch the TV episodes and movies that are being made in Iceland and by Icelanders. Listen to our music, look at our art. All of this is accessible even if you don't visit today. That's the difference between when I grew up and when you're growing up. You can access all of this even without visiting. But if you have a chance, and this is something I say to all young people always, try to find a way to leave your country and your culture and immerse yourself in another culture. And I think Iceland is an excellent place for that, because there's no other experience where you can learn more about yourself than when you leave the comfort of home. I actually think that's the best way to find out who you are, when you visit other cultures and immerse yourself in cultures that are different from yours. But also, I think when you read our books, the old sagas and the modern literature, watch the TV episodes and movies that are being made in Iceland and by Icelanders, listen to our music, look at our art. All of this is accessible even if you don't visit today. That's the difference between when I grew up and when you're growing up. You can access all of this even without visiting. But if you have a chance, and this is something I say to all young people always, try to find a way to leave your country and your culture and immerse yourself in another culture. And I think Iceland is an excellent choice for that, because there's no other experience where you can learn more about yourself than when you leave the comfort of home. I actually think that's the best way to find out who you are, when you visit other cultures and immerse yourself in cultures that are different from yours. But also, I think when you do that, you find out that as humans, we pretty much are all made the same, and we all want the same. We want to be happy, we want to be well, we want to matter, we want to be connected to other people, to nature. These are all essential needs, and it doesn't matter where we come from, but I learned this by leaving home at the age of 17, and I was an exchange student for a year. And I tell all young people, try to find a way. Be an exchange student, travel, try to find a job for the summer, try to find a way to leave your culture and learn about another culture, because that way you learn about yourself and your own country's culture. I became a proud Icelander when I left home.
Thank you very much for these encouraging words. It's amazing that the Iceland's president recorded this message for us. And now I would like to invite the representatives of our partner organizations. Well, then we will have a break, which will be with the participation of our DJ Victor, and then we will present the student features. There will be reflection of our four panelists. And now, as I said, I would like to give the floor to the representatives of our partnership consortium for organizations. First of all, Martin Szabla, in charge of the Creative Center in Košice.
Dobrý den.
Good morning.
Chcem vás srdečne privítať.
I want to welcome you for this closing phase of the project Studio 25 Iceland. Probably not all of you know what Studio 25 stands for. I would like to answer this question briefly. Excuse me.
Dobre. Studio 25
Studio 25 is One of the areas of the activities executed by creative centers. All the three centers have been established with the support of our partner, which is the Ministry for Investment and Regional Development and Informatization of the Slovak Republic, also with support of the Ministry of Culture of the Slovak Republic. You can see the logo. The logo is not there by accident because this whole program has started 3 years ago. There was the Slovak television and radio involved. And thanks to that, the creative centers have been equipped with technology, and I believe we will also fill it with content in the future. On this slide, you can see the areas of activity of the creative centers. This is talent development, support of entrepreneurship, creating community and building partnerships. Studio 25 is exactly what it involves, at least the two latter areas. These are our target groups: entrepreneurs in creative and film industry. Then it can be natural persons older than 18 years old, and also students of middle schools and universities. We have been focusing on them, and in the next 1 to 2 years they should graduate.
Aká je naša vízia?
What is our vision? What has been the vision of Studio 25? To mobilize the creative potential of young people with a new innovative way in the area of audiovisual strategy, which means learning by doing. So, which means we were happy to allow young people to create interesting projects and products. And what do we aim for? Here you see a picture of how we want to connect the form with the content. The form is, of course, ruled with the creative centers in Bratislava, Banská Bystrica and Košice. So they are the formal and technological and professional framework for these programs in order to be able to execute them. Then our talent pool are schools, middle schools and higher schools, so young people up to 25 years of age. We want to cooperate in the educational sector, and we expect also, we have had the standing conference of stakeholders in education, so we would like to ask them for the methodological part, so we can create space for young people, and this whole should result in cooperation with the private sector, so it will be development of different products, and Studio 25 could provide talents with creative innovation and new products. Our objectives to mobilize this creative potential and in cooperation with partners and do it across the whole country of Slovakia, so in Košice, Banská Bystrica and Bratislava. And of course, very important as for the infrastructure is to train the young people so they can really operate the high-end technology and top-notch technology, so they can really work in a professional way with this top-notch technology. And to conclude, I want to say my thank you to all the partners who have participated in this project, our esteemed guests from Iceland. I want to say thank you to all the young people who I believe really strongly that thanks to this project, they could really kind of kick off their creativity in even a better way. And I hope their journey will lead them also into Slovak television. And I wish you a nice morning and thank you for your attention.
Ďakujeme Martinovi Šabľovi.
Thank you, Martin Šabla, for these introductory words and encouraging ones. Let us continue. Before I pass the floor over in this official introduction, but let's have a look at the first student work, because we have had 2 workshops simultaneously. One group traveled to Iceland and the other group worked with the AV technology directly in our creative center. It was the open working like workshop and this open innovative atelier. Let's look at a short interview how the students perceived their work. Our objective in Iceland was to document the life and the whole country, basically. What appealed to you the most in Iceland? Yeah, Iceland has beautiful nature and there are many opportunities to visit and see it. And so we were on the Black Beach and we saw some seals when filming. And yes, we were somehow, do we see right? I mean, is it really seals? But then we focused on those objects basically in the sea and we were aware that yes, those were seals. And then there were cliffs with different interesting species and animals. So usually people see these animals only in zoos and enclosures, but here it was in wild nature. So that was an exceptional picture. And I am sorry, but there is such a strong echo. We saw the Aurora Borealis. At the first, we were a little bit disappointed, but then we observed and saw that it was amazing. It was even a surreal feeling. How you were running around with the cameras and technology, how did the locals react to you? I think they reacted as if we were tourists. So we were recording and filming. You spent 1 week in Iceland. Was it sufficient time or would you need more? Well, I think Iceland is a wonderful country and you would of course need much more time. However, I think we fulfilled our agenda and we managed to fulfill the expectations. And I hope we will return. Have you encountered anything that you would like to have also in Slovakia? Well, they are sophisticated, like more cultured, and they are very professional. And as for the inspiration for Slovakia, I think this is, there was like night, it was all clean and tidy and in order. Did you have to improvise also in Iceland? Yes. I mean, every day was a slight improvisation or improvising, but we had a great leadership tutors with Tomáš. And I mean, also Tomáš was very welcoming. We got really good advice. And we could also experiment with different angles and so on. Would you like to return to Iceland one day? And if so, why? Well, yes. I think there is much more we could discover in Iceland. And what will stay? What kind of picture will you carry for the future from Iceland? I mean, the nature. In the nature, everything is so iconic and photogenic. And I think we'll remember it forever. So it had a strong effect on me.
OK. My ešte našich študentov dnes vyspovedáme, pretože naozaj ich príspevky uvidíte.
So we will ask more our students and you will see all their contributions and we will discuss. Now I would like to ask the representative of the Standing Conference of Stakeholders in Education, Daniela Čorbová. Could you speak about the partner organizations and about about this project and program?
Pozdravujem vás všetkých.
Welcome everyone. I will start with a story. In a Slovak city, last time I encountered an interesting thing. I was changing trams from number 1 to number 2. I mean, the trams were close to each other and the trams were passing at the same time. So the first thing came to my mind, like, okay, when they were doing the time plans, they were not thinking of the people. The more I was surprised when I was like quite angry about this non-functioning system, but with a cold pace, I walked from one tram stop to the other, and the tram was still standing there with open doors waiting, and it saved me 15 minutes of my time. And it reminded me of something that happened 9 months ago with our 4 partner organizations in our consortium. So we wanted to accelerate and taking young people to get to know a new culture. Now it was Iceland, and so they would know interesting professions like cameraman or editor or graphics. So we have made a decision to cooperate with this partner organization. Every day I reflect on how much time this type of education will save the young people and how many competencies, transferable competencies they will acquire. So it was a very intensive cooperation, and it already started 10 years ago. It was a one courageous lady, Kristinka Domaňová, who is now a member of our standing conference. Having a backpack on her back, she traveled to Iceland 10 years ago, and in short time, with the support of another great lady, Renata Pešková, who is now the chair of Modulman. This is the Association for Bilingualism. She has established the Slovak school or funded the Slovak school on Iceland. And thanks to this step, and thanks to the following 10 years of getting to know Iceland and its population, Kristinka, in cooperation with Renata, that was the core of this project. And thanks to the management, this lady and their organization have joined the dream of Martin Szabla from the Creative Center from Košice, and he was dreaming about Studio 25. So only thing we were missing were data. We addressed the Sociological Institute of the Slovak Academy of Science, and we got the recommendation to contact the Department of Sociology of the University in Trnava. And thanks to Norwegian funds, this initiative, Studio 25, could have started. Our organizations have really been waiting for one another, and they were waiting also for the young people from Slovakia. So in cooperation with Modulman, they were gaining more and more competence from different parts of Icelandic culture, music, sports, education, gastronomy, nature, literature, Icelandic language, and thanks to Branislav, also science. They got an insight into science. So they were creating connections between important figures and important institutions. For example, public television and broadcast in Iceland are UV, the Nordic House, Institute of Arni Magnusson, and also the office of Madam President. And on the other hand, there was intensive education in AV, in the Creative Center in Košice, and deep interest to change the mindsets of young people. And there was a team from the Department of Sociology on Trnava University who were supporting the young people. So 50 young people from a region known for brain drain got this unique opportunity to work with high-end technology directly in their respective regions. And we hope that the result of this extraordinary educational moment you will appreciate today as well. But I have to also say that these young people have surprised me in a positive way in many respects, with being timely, with being engaged and hardworking, and also humane. They had school leaving exams, summer jobs, and they had to study. And also, thanks to the support of different consultants, they have managed to create high quality features, student features, and short documents. The last weeks in the creative centers in Košice, it was like in a beehive. This technology was used to 120%. Everybody was working so hard, and it was a great pleasure to see it. And I think this is one of the outputs that we have to offer all young people from Slovakia who are interested. And I hope this experience will change their attitude not only to Slovak television, but also to Slovakia as such.
Vrátim sa naspäť ešte ku príbehu o
And
električkách.
let me return to the story about the trams. I mean, that has been repeatedly happening to me that tram number 2 is waiting for tram number 1. It looks like it's a systemic measure, and I hope that our cooperation also will be a systemic solution for young people, not only for the region from Košice, but I hope that our partner consortium will be expanded by more organization in the near future. I would like to, on behalf of the students and participants, say thank you to all the partners from the partner consortium. So please, the 4 students, would you come to the front and would you give them this little present? So first of all, it's Kristina Domaňová from the Standing Conference.
Renáte Peškovej.
Renata Pešková from Modurmal, the Association for Bilingualism.
Martinovi Šablovi z Kreatívneho
Martin Šabla from the Creative Center of Slovak Television and Radio in Košice.
A Petrovi Guráňovi.
And Peter Guráň from the Faculty of Arts of the University in Trnava.
Taktiež chcem poďakovať všetkým.
And I also want to say thank you to everyone who has contributed and also worked nights and weekends and have contributed to the outcomes of this project. So first of all, I want to say thank you to Tomáš Koníček,
ale aj našemu ďalšiemu lektorovi.
but also to our tutor Janko Dobránsky for his midnight reflections.
Edite Hudákovej z Kreatívneho centra.
Edita Hudáková from the Creative Center in Košice.
A Adrianovi Čorbovi.
And Adrian Čorba from the Standing Conference of Stakeholders in Education.
A taktiež by sme radi poďakovali.
And we also want to say thank you to the representatives of the Ministry of Investment and Regional Development. So Madam Krížanová, Madam Danielová, thank you for your support.
A teraz by som už rada uviedla
And now I would like to introduce a feature from one of the participants from the OIA, from Hanka Hvolstíková. She created pieces not only for television but also radio. It looks like she will be quite a successful radio editor, and she participated in the workshop yesterday, and tomorrow she is recording already with us in Košice. Unfortunately, she cannot be here with us because she has her school leaving exam. So let's have a look at her feature from the last day from Iceland.
We are at Keflavik airport, our last day in Iceland. It is coming to an end, though there are still many things to do. And I would like to ask about the impressions of the participants. Andre, how would you sum up your stay in Iceland? Well, these 10 days that we have spent here in Iceland were amazing, full of beautiful experiences. We learned a lot about Iceland, about its culture, also how they live, how they work, and I think I've learned a lot. And definitely I would recommend others to come here or to use such an opportunity. Jakub is another participant. So what is the strongest experience or impression you've had? I would say that all the trips we've done to the ocean, to the coast, the beach, the nature in general. I think the nature here is very specific, and it's something that has resonated with me and will stay with me for a very long time. Could you describe, Coletta, how you feel about this day? I mean, this is unforgettable. It's very inspiring, and I hope that I'm looking forward to creating new things based on what I lived here in Iceland. Another participant is Michal, and I would also like to ask him about his feelings and impressions about this day. This beautiful 9-day stay in Iceland was a very interesting and amazing, very different. Also, there are some places, in Reykjavik. I mean, it's quite touristy, but I didn't mind it. And for the first time, when I saw the cliffs, I couldn't believe my eyes, the beauty, and I'm looking forward to making the final production. And well, now I can sum up my own experience. I think the stay here has been very intensive. The tutors and all the team have taken care of us, very good care of us. So we had everything done and prepared for us, all the transfers. So it was unbelievable. Thank you very much to all of them. So I feel great about it. I would compare it like to a wellness retreat because we were in beautiful nature. And apart from that, we could work on, our shooting, on photographs, editing, etc. And I think I would recommend it to everyone, to come and see Iceland. Thank you very much to Hanka, and fingers crossed to her school leaving exams, or with her school leaving exams today. And this was the first experience, so she did these short interviews. And since we are in cinema, and so that you can have also a visual experience. So just to explain, she did the audio part and we did the visual part. One of the partners is Modurnal, the Association for Bilingualism, represented by her chairwoman Renata Emilson-Pešková. Hello, everyone. I would like to start by thanking everyone. It was fantastic. We were really well taken care of, and I think we had a great experience here in Slovakia. Vingis Singiadóttir, the former president of Iceland and the ambassador of goodwill of the United Nations, she said that every person in the world has their mother tongue, and we want to support our Icelandic language, but we also be very respectful of the languages of the people who come to our country. And recently we have found out on the occasion of the International Day of Mother Tongues, and that there are more than 100 mother tongues represented in Iceland by different people who come there. And there was a questionnaire distributed in kindergartens and in primary schools, and we learned that more than 100 languages are used by these students, including 5 sign languages, and including Czech and Slovak. And this brings me to Modurnal, the association covering also, offering non-formal education and language lessons during the weekends. It's a kind of like a supplementary education to what children learn at school. And we have also mini Czech school or group, as well as a Slovak group, and we are very happy to have had this opportunity to act as a partner in this project. I work with bilingualism in science as well as in my life, and I would say that it is a key to preserving our own culture and at the same time to being open and respectful of people who come from other countries. According to to European strategies, Europeans should learn, apart from their mother tongue, other two languages to preserve language diversity. So it's always the mother tongue, then English, but also one additional language, not to, or to avoid losing this language diversity. And in the north, the strategy even speaks about four languages because they also think or about the native population, then Swedish and Danish, then a global language, and then another foreign language. The best is if it's a Nordic language. But obviously, you know, the language does not have to be just a language of words, but also, you know, through maybe communication through sport or arts, audiovisual outputs, culture. You know, we've had a sportswoman here who told us about sport in Iceland, you know, Lucie Martinsdóttir, representative or a member of the Iceland national team in powerlifting. And obviously this initiative will be continuing, and hopefully there will not just be Studio 25 Iceland, but maybe Studio 25 Spain and other countries, and hopefully the inspiration and dialogue will continue in all directions, because I think that Slovak students don't have to learn just from us, those who live in Iceland, but I think that Icelanders should learn from Slovak students as well. And I think that communication and inspiration that have taken place here, you know, in all directions, I think we are all leaving with lots of inspiration and plans. These are the seeds we have sown here, and they will keep on growing. Thank you very much for your participation, and very happy to be part of this project. Renata Emilson-Pešková, thank you very much. During our project, we had a chance to work together, not just with people who live in Iceland and who maybe are native Icelanders, but also with people who spent some time there and came back to Slovakia and are benefiting from that experience. One of such people is Lubo Šiška, and he was interviewed by Sidonia Zasadova. Sidonia, please come and join me here. She was there as a moderator and editor. You know, we worked together. We were looking for topics that we could work on for the first 2 weeks. We just tried to, you know, see how what the moderator should look like, where to stand, etc. And how did you choose this topic? Together with the script writer, Veronika, we decided to choose this very inspiring personality, Lubo Šiška. He lived for 7 years, I think, in Iceland. He settled there, you know, started a family, and he has a lot of experience in gastronomy, tourist industry, etc. He's still working in gastronomy in Slovakia, and we were very happy to have met him and to have talked to him. He is a great inspiration for us. Martin has been talking about collaboration with students, and Sidonia studies audiovisual studies. And how was it for you to join this workshop? Did you have any chance to work on these on such audiovisual creations? Well, thanks to this workshop, this was my first experience, and I had a chance to work with other participants. For me, the most important thing that I learned was that it's about cooperation, and then to enjoy what you have produced. Hopefully you will enjoy our production as well. Let's watch it together.
I came to Iceland in 2015 by accident. There was like a small travel agency, and I saw an offer from a friend and to start a career in Iceland. And then I traveled, but I knew that there was wonderful nature, and but before I lived in hot countries and drank pina colada. Then I came to Iceland. And firstly, I mean, I saw the pictures and I have made the decision that it is an interesting destination and then there is a great potential for tourism. Your life is closely connected with gastronomy. What surprised you with the Icelandic cuisine? I really like those fusion that you can have a fried sushi or sushi pizza and they fried some maki sushi and so on. That was interesting. I liked how they could also have this kind of Icelandic touch and how they also focused on tourists. But of course, you can have many different cuisines from all over the world. But the food is really interesting. And the biggest difference between Icelandic and Slovak culture is, for me, is human rights, equality, and how they, I mean, the poverty, you don't see poverty, you don't have such a big difference between, you have a middle class and there is not so many high class and lower class citizens. I arrived like a 25 years old boy and I left a 32 years old man. And it was an interesting journey. I participate in many expeditions and it is a highly developed country. And I changed my view on the life, on gastronomy and nature. And I became more an environmentalist and all those small things that we don't perceive so much, I was more aware of those. And I returned and I opened a small vegan bistro with a little bit of an Icelandic design, concrete plants and a bit of wood. And I mean, in the gastronomy, I want people to enjoy it and to, yes, have an experience. It was, I think everyone who leaves the country and goes to another country can get inspired, any kind of location. So let's just try it. And it is up to you what you take home from it. So I think traveling opens minds and it doesn't have to be a cheap and hot destination, but also try something else. It can be Georgia or Iceland and everything can enrich you with something.
Nebáť sa cestovať, nebáť sa ostať, nebáť sa vrátiť a možno doniesť
So not to be afraid of leaving, of traveling, of learning, and maybe also bringing back a little bit of Iceland back to your country. And we have a little bit of Iceland here in Bratislava. You can go and taste it. And our initiative has included also a sociological survey. I have always asked, or I've been asking our students to take part in it, to fill it in so that we can move forward with this initiative. And Peter Guran from the Department of Sociology, Faculty of Arts, University of Trnava, and Dasha Rishava, a member of the department, will come and present the results of the sociological survey. Hello, everyone. I would like to start by thanking everyone, and especially the organizers, for giving us the opportunity to take part in this project that is not so typical for the work of a social scientist. And that's why we have called this survey as a survey based on experiment, because usually social scientists come with a questionnaire, or some people come with a questionnaire and then the social scientists analyze the questionnaires. But we here have done both things, the questionnaire as well as an analysis. And apart from that, another thing, we have followed all the process and also have taken part in it as participants, So not just the respondents have changed, but we have changed as well. Along the process, as we have been gradually getting to know Iceland. So here we can see the first result from the questionnaires with which we've been harassing you to fill them in. And to start, I have to say that the results you can see here are preliminary, because so far, since we only had workshops very recently, yesterday and then also on Friday in Banska Bystrica, we haven't had the time to process all the data, but you can see this small sample from Košice, according to the replies of the participants. I would like to draw your attention to two things. You see those fields that in yellow and green are quite balanced. So it would be probably a bit ingenuine or naive to expect that during the course of the projects, automatically the attitudes change as well. We can see that the scale, the evaluation scale of agreement or disagreement with these statements was from 1, a complete disagreement, to 5, a complete agreement. So the higher the number, the higher the agreement. So you can see at first glance that everyone who came to the Creative Center in Košice in a certain way was motivated already. You can also see the fields in pink, where we can see the biggest change. It's quite, trivial that obviously the biggest change has taken place in awareness, because obviously the people, those participants, have taken part in the course. But higher awareness does not automatically bring along a higher interest. So when we follow these variants for a longer time, probably we will see that the period of 1 month is too short to be able to say or to be able to describe any possible changes. So the changes in attitudes or values, activities require certain time. And I think that also one of the conclusions of this project is that it's not possible to speed it up. You can't, in a short period of time, do everything and all the things that need a longer time. And we could also see in Iceland that that there were just so many new stimuli, new experiences, and sometimes I would say that it has a counterproductive effect, that it does not motivate people as much as we would expect, because these experiences need to be reflected or processed and absorbed. And the greater dynamics of this project, we know why it was so dynamic and so fast. I would say that there is a recommendation for the future, to slow down a little bit. Definitely slow down and to give time for reflection, for, just thinking over of what has been done. And I would say that this has been also reflected by the answers that will be presented by my colleague. Apart from other things, in the last questionnaire, we try to create a certain perspective or give a certain view of young people on different data. Or we know that there is maybe a lower interest in certain things, and TV, etc. And we asked young people to tell us what the TV should offer, what kind of new innovative formats it could offer, because we have seen that there has been lower interest of young people in watching TV. And here we can see the formats that they would prefer. We can see that young people prefer live and interactive programs much more than, for example, some innovative programs with AI or similar. So perhaps not really new technologies, but rather a new approach, communication, meeting people live in person, and the exchange, the sharing of experience and opinion. These are those gamified cultural challenges and competitions, and that's what we have also seen in Iceland. These kind of games where people took part and competed among each other, and this way raised also the interest of the audience. Okay, and the last slide sums up what I have already said, that the further development of this project that has an incredibly strong potential needs to be perceived as something, not a short-term project, but as a long-term process of education and offering new opportunities. And to conclude, I would like to emphasize one important thing that we have learned from the respondents, especially in Košice, where the majority of students said that the biggest contribution for them has been to have this opportunity, to be able to take this first step, that they had lots of ideas, lots of potentials, things that they wanted to do and to change, but they needed help in taking the first step. And I think that this project has definitely offered this first step and guidance towards taking the first step. So thank you very much. And now I pass the floor to my colleague. Thank you. Just very briefly about this survey, about the qualitative part. It's good to say that this part concerns the participants who were in Iceland. We spent quite a lot of time with them, did interviews with them, and we also did some observations. We had an initial hypothesis that the initial contact, direct contact with the culture influences or impacts the attitudes of young people, and also maybe the attitudes towards your own country. In the interviews, we focus on three areas, and that is the influence of nature, then influence of culture, and then learning by doing. The results we will present, a lot of it has already been heard from those short features. I think that they were telling the truth. Okay, so you're lucky. And the impact of nature here, I would say that half of the respondents, were motivated to visit Iceland because of the nature. The keywords were beautiful nature, majestic, rugged nature. And what's positive is that many people were very impressed by the nature, and their expectations were even surpassed. And on the other hand, the landscape looked maybe a little bit monotonous to them. They missed the trees and the greenery, so there were like earthy colors. But to sum it up, all the interviews showed that their impressions from the nature were being intensified during the stay. And if I may, just a short comment. The nature itself perhaps also offers us a question for reflection, food for thought. Maybe this Icelandic nature, through its beautiful, majestic, rugged nature that is so different, maybe it has impacted also the ability to create, that it was just so beautiful at first glance that maybe it would be interesting, what has been said here, maybe to continue in this project in the neighboring country where the nature is very similar, and the participants would definitely try and take a creative approach to presenting this nature to everyone. So I would say that this nature and the character of this nature is a great challenge, and maybe this beautiful and majestic nature perhaps might subdue a little bit creativity. Well, this is something that has occurred to me now when looking at all these answers. As regards the cultural impact, the impact of culture, here what I would stress is that the main element were the local people. The key words were calm, peacefulness, but also that Iceland is an expensive country. So first impressions were that the local people were calm, quiet, they were willing to help, but maybe they seemed a little bit less cordial as well. And also, this impact of culture made them think about how they felt about Slovakia and the differences between Iceland and Slovakia. For example, the prices, that Iceland is more expensive than, for example, behavior in the restaurants, that the Slovaks are more noisy in the restaurants. And what's important to add is that the participants appreciated barrier-free access, and hopefully this may change in Slovakia as well. And briefly, learning by doing, this part has turned out to be very beneficial and useful. Half of the participants went to Iceland wanting to learn something new in terms of audiovisual creation, and they also wanted to get new perceptions through technology. And it's important to say that they appreciated the guidance of professionals, cameramen, photographers. They helped them a lot in their approach and experience in terms of audiovisual creation. And to conclude, good piece of information is that the respondents would like to continue in their creative activities, although many of them do not yet have a specific goal in mind for the future, what they want to do. But we believe and hope that this experience will help them to decide. And last but not least, observations of this project. Definitely, we can see in all the indicators that Studio 25 Iceland is a project with a very strong potential. Although obviously there are certain weaknesses as well, the shortness of the project, the short duration. So this type of project requires longer time, so that there is more time for reflection and in-depth analysis and discussions. And one of the goals of such a project should be also to encourage teamwork. And when it's so fast, when everyone focuses on their own individual part, to do their best, then there's less time and space for teamwork. So this seems I think, a key message in the further development of this project.
Ďakujeme veľmi pekne za pozornosť.
So thank you very much for your attention.
Ďakujeme Petrovi Guráňovi a Daši.
Thank you, Peter Guráň and Dasha, for very important incentives for the future. So yes, it was mentioned it's good to slow down a little bit, but currently we are not slowing down. You know how it works in media, everything works fast, we need to produce, and we have semi-professional works of art that were created under the leadership of professionals. So it would be even more professional if they had a longer time. So we are very happy that we managed to start contact also with the public broadcast in Iceland, and they were so interested in the project, so they are also preparing a translation of the documentary that you will see on the second channel of the Slovak television. It will be on April 20 at 11:45. So April 20, 11:45 on the second channel. And in the past month, part of the students traveled to Iceland and part of the students work hard here in Slovakia. So we were learning how the camera technology works, how the screenwriters work with the editors, with the cameraman, and so on, and how it works in the editing room. And due to shortage of time, maybe we were not able to explain in detail every step, but all the students really work hard, ask many questions.
A už ste videli
in many things, and you have already met Sidonia. We already watched her feature, and there was also Alica Matisová. Alica also arrived yesterday to Bratislava, and now Alica, I ask you to introduce your contribution, please. Ali, we selected also according to, you know, who will be cooperating with whom and who will have an interview with whom. So some people traveled live to Košice, some we made online. So you have selected Dr. Victor. Why? Yes, we selected Victor because he is a very inspirational personality.
Nám určite má čo dať do života.
Has a lot to say and a lot to give to us for our lives. And this interview took part was happening online in English, so it was quite a challenge also for professionals. How did you perceive it? Well, to have an online interview is not the easiest thing to do. I think everybody would like to have the interviewed person physically in place. It is a better interaction and better communication because you can react or respond in a more immediate way. But Victor has been great, and I think right from the start we were a good match. So it had a natural flow. Also in English it wasn't any problem, and so we recorded the interview, and then together, according also to the screenplay we had together with our editors, we compiled the material. And what I would like to mention is that in our little piece, we wanted to this piece to reflect what kind of personality Victor is. So we wanted to have it very dynamic, very energetic. We want to have this positive vibe, and I will not reveal more. I hope you will enjoy it. And I am really happy that I have had the opportunity to meet Victor also in person later. So
about you.
I ended up seeing an opportunity to study medicine in Slovakia, and I was very interested to go study in Slovakia. So I moved to Martin and studied medicine in Jesenius Faculty of Medicine in Martin. Great school, and best years of my life, really nice. Learned the Slovak culture, Slovak language, and I also started my career as an artist. the lifestyle of DJing obviously is totally different than being a doctor. It's a lot working in the night, but I mean, if you balance your life, like think about sleep, you exercise, and you're like eating properly, I think it's all about balance, you know. After I became a doctor, I started to use this story and tell about this concept, the chair of life. It's like a chair with 4 legs, so like exercising, eating properly, sleep, and mental health. And you kind of like have to keep these 4 legs in balance, right? So if you break one, you're gonna fall. So, you know, like I said, I'm not 100%, but I'm always checking myself. Like, okay, I'm eating okay. I'm gonna train today. Okay, I gotta sleep early today. And how am I feeling? You'll soon reflect upon these problems and to me, it works really well because I think everybody should have a hobby on the side. And to me, when I was studying medicine and now when I'm working as a doctor, I always look to the music because it really it's a calming thing, creative thing. So it's really good for people that are working in something that takes a lot of headspace, like doctor or whatever it is, to have something creative. During my studies, like in second year, third year, like Martin and Slovakia started to feel like home. So when I came to Iceland for summer vacation or Christmas, when I came back to Martin, it was like, I'm back home. I would recommend everyone I always tell this to my uncles and you know, nieces, and I tell them like, move abroad. Like I moved to Slovakia. You really you learn completely new things, new culture, new language. I tell everyone to move to Slovakia. Ahoj, volám sa Viktor.
Hello, my name is Victor and I love Slovakia.
Viktor, môže byť? Prečo
Victor, was that okay? Oh yeah, why not? Why not? Hello everyone. Yes, so as you can see, Dr. Victor is here with us and he will share his viewpoint on Slovak-Icelandic relationships.
Yeah, so I wanted to start by saying, speaking a little bit Slovak, right? So, veľmi pekný ďakujem, že som mohol byť.
Thank you so much that I could have been part of this project, and it's a great honor for me to be here.
I want to thank the Studio 25 team, the Creative Center, STVR, all the partners, and of course the young talent that came to Iceland and that is here. So thank you all. Ďakujem veľmi pekne. So my experience with this project, I'm really thankful for this project. It taught me a lot about myself, and I think I taught the young people that came to me a little bit about music and medicine. So I think it was really inspirational to meet them, and it also made me aware to be thankful of what we have. Because I had to reflect on what I'm thankful for in Iceland and what I'm thankful for in Slovakia. And I think it's important to remember to be thankful of what we have. So obviously I have a great connection to Slovakia. I lived here for 6 years. And I remember first when I came here, I thought it was totally different than Iceland. I didn't understand a word and I didn't know anything. Ale keď som sa naučil po slovenský jazyk, čistila som...
But then I studied Slovak and I understood that we are equal. We are equal.
To me, as I said, I had great connections to Slovakia. I studied medicine. Slovakia taught me to be a doctor. I even met my wife in Jasna. We were skiing there and now we have 3 beautiful kids. So I'm thankful for Slovakia for introducing me to my wife, and I also started my musical career in Slovakia. So my first gig was in Martin. So Slovakia has a big piece of my heart. Then I wanted to talk about like the art and the bridge that art gives us. I think even though we don't speak the same language, art is a universal language, and it's very important to have projects like this to connect people all around the world. And it's everybody can understand music, and everybody can understand paintings, and it's very important to take care of art and culture. And also, as you guys came to Iceland, it's very important to connect to people all around the world, to network and share ideas, to collaborate. And I'm gonna start now working on a song with a Slovak artist, so it's gonna come soon. But for the young people and everyone, I want to say exactly the words of this project: learn by doing. It's very important. You can read a lot and you can see a lot, but it's very important to do things and just try, and don't be afraid to fail. And it's very important also to be yourself, and remember, because I'm a doctor, to take care of your health. Stolički, the chair of life. Exercise, sleep, mental health and nutrition, it's always important. So yeah, I'm really thankful. So thank you for having me a part of this project, and hope to see you in Iceland soon. Ďakujem.
Thank you very much, Viktor, ďakujeme. Aby nedošlo k omylu, tak Viktor stretol si...
Just to avoid any confusion, yes, he met his wife in Iceland, but she's not Slovak, she is from Iceland. So what kind of probability or chance that two persons from Iceland will meet in Jasna in Slovakia, and then they will go to Iceland and have children and family together? So yes, Slovakia connects also in this respect, and the Slovak-Icelandic project might bring new connections. So we can see a piano here and the whole technology, but now a 15 minutes long break is ahead of us, but Victor will be playing or performing for us, so let's have 15 minutes break. We will meet here back at 11:50 or 10 to 12.
Tomorrow when we're alright, that's when we forget just who we are. Anchors come together and it's alright. That's when you remember who you are. Running, running, thoughts running, running, they run away from you. Running, running, thoughts running, running, they run away from you. Oh, oh, oh. Just who we are. Anchors come together and it's alright. That's when you remember who you are. Running, running, thoughts running, running, they run away from you. Running, running, thoughts running, running, they run away from you. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, it. I wanna make your mind, mine, mine. Don't waste no time, time, time. You're so damn fine, fine, fine. Oh my, I love the way you move. Oh my, can't get you off my mind. Don't try, just let me love you right all night. 'Cause I love the way you move. Oh my.
One point, had it all figured out, but it slipped through the palm of our hands. To give up wasn't part of the plan, but it feels like we already have. It used to feel right, now it's wrong for us if we stay any longer. As if hanging around makes us strong. Got no reason to stay, but I'll go up in flames next to you. 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 Flames next to She's gonna cry, she's gonna yell, she's gonna wonder why you don't deal with the ghost. You archive the post, then you get trashed and want me most. Pick up the top, hate to get dry, block on my noise, ayo, ayo. Burn enough sage to keep your girl safe. Don't let her know, I know you know. I think it's magic. No. I think it's magic. I know you know. I think it's magic. Can burn enough sage to keep your girl safe. Don't let her know, I know you know. To keep your girl safe, don't let her know, I know you know. Burn enough sage to keep your girl safe. Don't let her know, I know you know.
lost when you should have shoved me. Like your love is something I'll never lose. Even when your words fell down on deaf ears, you never be stuck complaining, no. You had the blueprint on how to get here, and we journeyed right through the pain, oh.
DJ Dr. Viktor, ja vás poprosím ešte, Viktor by si rád urobil fotografiu.
DJ Dr. Victor, and Victor would like to take a picture, so please put your hands up. Yeah, a picture.
A máme tu ešte aj fotografku.
And we've got a photographer here. If I could ask you to come here and take a picture, maybe from up there.
Môže byť, prečo nie? A ešte si urobíme, dúfam, že fotografií.
Great. I'm sure we'll take many more pictures. We have to release Victor now because he's got other commitments. He's going to do a feature. Good luck. Okay, but he'll be back, don't worry. Welcome back. I hope you've refreshed, you recharge your batteries, also thanks to this amazing energy from Victor. And now we have the presentation of student works coming up. It is a process of getting to know each other, and under the guidance of the professionals and consultants, they were discovering culture, nature, education, and we had a look maybe at what we could implement also in our education system. And now I would like to ask our consultants, I will invite you here. Well, we'll do it this way, or anyway, yes, so you can stay there in your seats. You don't have to come up here. You can just follow all the features. So, Jan Dobransky, the lecturer of Slovak television and radio for audiovisual creation. Okay, Victor will be back in a moment, but I'm sure you have already met him, you already know who he is. Then we have also Renata Emilsson-Peškova, expert in Icelandic culture and language. Also Hallur Mar from Morgunblaðið.
A Tomáš Koníček, lektor STVR
and Tomáš
pre
Koníček,
audiovizuálnu tvorbu.
lecturer from Slovak Television and Radio for Audiovisual Creation. We will start with the participants of open working workshops. Emma Borková is our first participant. Please come up here. Take the microphone. Emma, can you tell us what's been happening in the Creative Center in Košice? What did it look like there during the last working week? So the last week in the Creative Center has been very busy because the participants of these open workshops have been working on their features. It was a part of their course, where they were getting experience in editing in front of the camera, behind the camera as well. Myself and Beata, we went there, and to see this atmosphere, we could meet and see the lecturers who try to help the students, who offer their support and guidance. We had a look in the editing room, where also our interview was edited. We saw the dubbing studio, and we really had a problem to tear them apart from their works when we wanted to carry out the interviews. So the name we chose is Iceland through my eyes, and we wanted to offer the personal experience, and I would definitely want to take part again because I got some theoretical experience but also practical skills. I learned to do a script under the guidance of our lecturers. They gave me some examples, and I followed it, and I interviewed Denisa, or she has lived and worked as a singer in Iceland. I would like to take part again in such a course because I met amazing people. I try to open the doors for young people to their future job, and my idea or my task is to teach them how to work with the material, how to edit it, etc. During the course, I learned how to work with my voice, how to pose questions. We learned how to work when we are nervous, and my respondent, Victor, was very nice. He supported me, so that he told me I shouldn't be afraid, and it gave me a lot. And I'm happy I had this chance to be creative. As part of the course, I took part in shooting interviews with people from Iceland, or those who have lived in Iceland or have been influenced by it. It was a great experience because we've met many interesting people. During the course, I learned many things, but especially to work with different types of camera, with lighting, and this has been a great experience. If I had a chance to take part in this course again, I would do it because even though we've learned quite a lot, there are still so many things to learn, and it was amazing. The moderator's course I did was very useful for me because I learned how to work, for example, under pressure, while still learning it, and many people have inspired me. I could count on my team, and hopefully they could count on me. And this course, I have benefited from it because I could also get to know new people, and I could see also how other people work under pressure, under time pressure, and that it's possible. and I signed up for the course because I wanted to get to know new people, I wanted to learn new things, and definitely if there's another chance, I want to do it again. Thank you.
My sme sa tu rozprávali predtým o tej
Okay, so we've been talking about this gender balance, and we're very happy that we had two girls working with a camera, and they're really great at this job. And if I could ask for your reflections.
Je to také tesné.
Well, it's quite...
Ale o tom je ten celý projekt, že sa vzdelávate.
Obviously, there are still things that can be improved, but for me as a professional, it's still just like it was like half-baked at the beginning, but I would say that you've already done at least half of the marathon. There are maybe just a few more kilometers left. Obviously, they are the most difficult ones, to fine-tune the work. It doesn't matter the order in which you finish the marathon, but it's important to be, proud of yourself and also to make other people proud. So there are not that many, maybe, things that can be improved. Though obviously through individual consultations we can work together. So obviously there are things that I would find there, but I think you have managed to learn the basics. So congratulations. I think in such a short time it was very good. Renata? Yes, thank you very much. I'm very happy to see the people who are usually not visible. So you're here as the superstars. You are the main heroes. These young people who receive this opportunity to work on yourselves. You want to become professionals, and I hope that this will empower you. Empowerment is a key word. So I definitely appreciate this feature, because I think you have also given the chance to those people who are usually not visible, who stand behind the camera. And because there are lots of details that you have to think of, and obviously then you will learn, then there are still things that you can fine-tune, but for me it's wonderful. If anyone else wants to speak, your choice, but obviously not everyone has to speak on all the features. Okay, well, we all wanted to say something. I would build on what Janko Dobransky has said. I had this chance to observe you directly when working, so not just to see your outputs, but also during the whole process, this very intensive week. I could see how you developed, and I think maybe Janko, he did not, see that process during that week, but I did see exactly that every single day you were improving. And this is, I think, what he has said as well. At the end of the process, at the end of that week, your works surpassed what you were able to do at the beginning. You were trying to, correct yourselves and correct what you were doing. And I think given the time you had, given the materials you had, and as you were learning everything, you're just at the start of your journey. So I would say that the outputs are stunning and surprising. When I started out, I was really suffering. I think you managed to walk this journey or run through this journey very fast.
I can only speak about what I've been seeing here, and it looks impressive. Good shots, good sound, and editing on the Victor show very fast. That's the key for reaching people on your age now. You can deliver so much information with the fast editing, and keep on going. It's looking good.
Ja to síce celé takto vediem a prepájam a nie som v tej panelovej diskusii.
Okay, maybe I'm not the member of the panel, but I would like to say something as well, because some of you were under my guidance for your work as reporters. Some of you are students of Slovak and Media Studies, and others did not have any experience with that. And, we only had 4 weeks to teach them what is this feature or a report. Some of them had no idea, and I think they did it very well despite the time pressure. And since we had certain, challenges like, online interviews, live interviews, interviews in English, then they said, oh, maybe this could be turned into a feature. Let's do something else, and it's fantastic, the journey you've done in just 4 weeks, and to be able to see and do something that you haven't done at school, and also to be able to do this networking in terms of script writers, editors, reporters, etc., and to see their work, because obviously there's just a 3-minute feature, but the work behind it, that's weeks or days and weeks. Okay, thank you very much. And now we're moving on to the next feature prepared by Gregor. Let's have a look.
I think that you are looking for the right path, and that was also the reason what attracted me to Iceland. One of the reasons was to find also my inner self and inner strength, and I think it is also closely connected with my creation and what music I create, and maybe also be more independent, have this inner power to handle difficult situation. And I got a lot of inspiration. And when you spend like 2 years there, you experience so many things in the nature, at work, outside. I mean, different stories that you live with, and you can use it for your music. And I was composing a song about somebody else for the first time, not only for myself. That was the first time experience for me. Waiting for tonight, whether I get my
Určite aj v hudbe mám rada veľmi veľa islandských interpretov.
Also in music I like many Icelandic interprets, but it also basically arises from the nature and from the environment. I think it is extremely beautiful. It is so full of contrasts. Like 1 hour you have sunshine, and the second hour it starts to snow or rain, and such a heavy wind. And then it's again sunshine for the following 2 hours. So this is really training you and giving you a hard time. And this is also inspirational. I mean, you go through different phases within several hours. The most of the nature is the wind, I think. There is constant wind, and then also to see a volcano, basically with the own eyes, this is also a very interesting experience. So if I had to choose anything from the nature, I would choose wind and never-ending plains. And also when you see geysers and water is coming from the ground, that's very inspirational. What would be my message to people who consider coming to Iceland? I mean, of course, once in a lifetime you have to experience it. It is unbelievably beautiful to see aurora, or to see a volcano eruption, or these cliffs, birds, plains, the whole nature. Anywhere you look around, it is amazing. So yes, it is also a little bit of torture, physical torture, to maybe get to a certain point. But I mean, and you also have to be a person who maybe enjoys discomfort to a certain extent. The author of this feature is Gregor. Gregor, please join us.
Toto je veľmi zaujímavá spolupráca, pretože
Very interesting
na
cooperation
Gregora
here,
prezradím teda,
because
že on
Gregor,
sa
I will
neprihlásil do
reveal about you
redaktorského
that
kurzu, ani
he
do
did not
moderátorského
apply
kurzu a
for the
napriek tomu
course or
prišiel
to
s
be a moderator
reportážou.
or an
Gregor, ty si
editor,
bol
and
ako
he came with
scenárista,
a feature,
dramaturg
but you were a
prihlásený, ako to a
screenwriter
režisér.
and
Ako to celé vzniklo, že si vlastne
and the
napokon
director.
vytvoril
So
reportáž a prišiel sám
how
s
did this
nápadom,
feature
že
come
on by mal
about, and that you
Denise Gajarskej,
it could be about Denisa from the band Dinaya. So how came this idea about? We cannot hear you.
Vzniklo to nejako takto, že pod
So this is, I think, under the leadership of my mentor, we discussed what output could we create from this Studio 25 Iceland, and we thought about a short feature about a person who had been to Iceland, experienced living in Iceland, and but is based in Košice. So I found Denisa Gajarska by accident through a friend of ours. She is a great girl, Denisa. Her singing and how she appears and behaves.
taký čistý, taká divožienka.
She is a pure soul, a very creative soul. I met her for the first time in the studio, and it was a great match. We matched, and it was also unbelievable fun. Then it got a bit more serious when she had to, speak in front of the camera. That was a bit different story then. Was she? Did she feel stressed? No, she became more serious. And how would you comment about this experience? Not only being behind somewhere like a screenwriter, but did you enjoy being a director or creating this feature? Did you enjoy it? Yes, I enjoyed it, but I would like to be more in a screenwriter and or a director. This is what I applied for later, not to be a moderator. So yes, thanks a lot. Please stick with us, and could the panelists, maybe from your professional view, review this report? Well, music is a great hobby of mine, and I used to create these kind of features constantly in the past, and it was great, a very pleasant surprise for me. From everything I have seen today, I mean, you could see also sound mix, and there is the music and different sounds. So on such a short space, you captured Iceland, even though you were not with us, but through her statements, you really revealed what's important. It was great work with the source material. You used the material. So, I mean, you had a video clip, but very nicely combined with the drone, and maybe a little bit of more editing, or, I mean, maybe there was a little bit I would improve on, but great work for the first piece, really great, and I'm happy that I could watch it.
Yeah. Who was shooting the drones? Yeah, very nice, and very. It's exactly how I like to see the drones used. Just slow and nothing too much noise, as opposed to what I was talking about earlier. But yeah, very good. And my experience, when people are in front of the camera, they tend to change. You're talking to someone, and then you put them in front of the camera and turn the lights on and ask questions, and they change a lot. So that's something to have in mind always. Try to make them feel as comfortable as possible. But she looked okay, and she did good. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
mně se jenom moc líbilo, jak tam vlastně ta
What I really liked was the nature. Nature, she speaks of nature and there are images of the nature or shots. So this is like a non-verbal message about the nature and how the humans have to, live with the nature. And it is also in the Iceland a great topic, and this is how the students perceive it. And here nature played, a major role. It's not the humans controlling the nature, but nature controlling the humans, basically. Anything you would like to add?
Tak v rychlosti tam doplním to, že vlastně
Just briefly, I would add what has basically been mentioned by the colleagues and friends. Very beautifully you used the connection with the workshops, so you could select really the persons you needed, the profession, and you created what you wanted and also created what you had to. So thanks a lot, Gregor. And if you have not seen Diana in live or any kind of works of her, she has an incredible voice. She returned now. She worked in Iceland. She did cleaning jobs. She lived in like a van for 4 months. She needed a low-cost solution to be able to survive. So it was a very low budget life there, but her voice is incredible. Let us continue with 6 participants from the Open Innovative Atelier, and we will see a short informational report about their education.
Za skutočne poriadnou náložou kreativity a dlhých hodín strávených za kamerami stojí skupina mladých.
Many hours behind the camera and a lot of creativity. It's a group of talented young people. So these people, or these guys, traveled to Iceland and they had this Icelandic adventure and returned with many memories. The sound is so bad, it cannot be interpreted. I am sorry. We do have an echo. So we had to move from point A to point B and had some agenda and so they were in Košice, I was in Nitra, and I was asking myself, why do I participate? My name is Nicoleta, and I looked around in my place and my hometown, and before I spent nine days in this beautiful country. My name is Michal. I have really nice memories from Iceland that I remember for my whole life, and a lot of experience with the people I traveled with. And all those views, cliffs, all the views we experience, I will never forget. For Slovak television, it was Beata Filipová. Okay, now we will start with the individual features from the students, but it will be in alphabetic order. We will start with Ondrej Bátori, and let's look at his piece first.
Ég kem að hjálpa þér sem vilt. Ég skal gefa þér þennan pil. Sýndu með snutti upp þér.
Talent show between the schools in Reykjavik. And it goes all the way back to 1990. And it's once a year, always in November. And it's like the school compete against each other. And they have to write a play, or it has to be original. They can't just take grease or the hair or anything else. Like, they have to make it themselves.
Stillum upp í allan bolta. Prins, þú á bekkinn, Rúna fremst.
In September they start, and then they have to do the script, and then they have to start to write the songs, the music, the lyrics. They have to do the scenery. They have to do the costumes. So it's a lot to do from September till the first week in November. And if we go to qualify, we have to do it again the week after, and that's always a bit more. That's is shown on television. The first one is not live, but the next one is. They absolutely love it. I think so. They get very competitive, but they put their hearts and soul into it, everything. So they're here. It's a long day, really long days before the competitions, and there is never a problem to get them to stay and do the extra. This year we qualified. We went to the finals. The year before, we did not get to finals, but 2 years before that we went in the second place. So we are really burning for seat number 1, the first place.
Tak videli sme reportáž Ondreja Bátoryho.
So we have seen Ondrej Bátory's report or feature. So, Ondrej,
preniesol alebo do toho štúdia.
What you have seen in the education system in Iceland, what caught your eye? What inspired you? What is different? When I learned about this competition and this project that takes place every year at primary schools in Reykjavik, I really liked it very much because it helps children to use their fantasy, their imagination. Children are very creative and to play in front of the audience, to have this kind of performance, I think that's an amazing experience. And I can say it from my own experience because I've done something similar. And I think that this, performance, the show, the talent, singing and dancing, they can show it to other people and they can help them move forward. Yes, and they can try and develop their talents already at primary school. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, I'm the lecturer of camera work, but I can also speak in terms of the sound. Well, did you mix it yourself? Yeah, great. I think the sound. And another thing that happens quite commonly is, and that happens to me as well, that someone brings an interview and there is no illustrative or no image. So a very good work in your case with someone else's material. So you found the parts that could be used. You listened to the text, and I think you put it together as a professional. I would say you're almost before the finishing line. And for me, it's a big plus, the way you worked with the sound. When, you managed to fine-tune even the sound. So I would say this can be presented elsewhere. Okay, I don't want to speak a lot because I agree with Jan. And as a cameraman, I can say that 80% of the work is the sound. And I'm saying that as a cameraman. So listen to Janko, and this is definitely what you need. Thank you very much.
Já jsem chtěla říct, že mě se líbí, jak vy vlastně tam...
I would like to say that I like the way you embraced this idea, the idea you liked and that you wanted to show it to the people in Slovakia. And you say that, children need to get the chance and to maybe show their talent and imagination on TV. And I really like the fact you found this idea that you think it's worth showing to others.
Just as someone who knows this competition, Skrekkur, I think you managed to deliver it, the idea and the concept, and interpret it very, very well. That's all I have to add. Yeah, of course there are technicalities always with this kind of work, but if you can manage to tell the story in a right way and the audience understands it, that's the key thing.
Yeah, hi. Všetko bolo dobre.
Everything was good.
As well. It's very important storytelling, starting with something, showing clips from it as you did, and the audio and the visual. It was perfectně. So very well done. Great job.
Ondrej, ďakujeme.
Ondrej, thank you very much. And now, Jakub Gašpar.
V meste Reykjavík sa nachádza významný jazykovedný inštitút.
In Reykjavik, there is an important linguistic institute, Arne Magnusson Institute. It works on the research of Icelandic language, and we did an interview with an expert on Icelandic language and culture who's been working for this institute for several years. I would say that it's similar to Ľudovít Štúr Institute in Slovakia. It works on technologies for Icelandic language. Also, it works on Old or Norse manuscripts that are part of the UNESCO World Heritage. It also assesses new words, integrates them in the vocabulary, and it collects or gathers these words. Then they are subject to further research and to see where they come from, whether they come from other languages or whether these are newly invented words, and how they can be written, in terms of phonetics and phonology. And Arne Magnusson was a collector who lived in the 18th century and who collected not just Icelandic manuscripts, but also European and Scandinavian manuscripts. He created a collection of books and manuscripts that are subject to further research. And apart from these activities, there is also an interactive exhibition available or accessible to public. The name of the exhibition is Heimur Nordun, and it shows the culture of the inhabitants of Iceland, also based on the manuscripts, how people lived, what they ate, what their habits were in agriculture, also then traveling of old Icelanders, and also how they cured or healed their diseases, the faith they had or the faith they were receiving, the new faith they received.
Jakub, ty si sa zaoberal témou slova.
Jakub, you dealt with the topic of new words in Icelandic language. What caught your eye when you created this feature? Is there any Icelandic word you remembered? What caught my eye was this institute, because at first glance, or when we talked about, visiting this institute, I thought, okay, let's go there, but not particularly interested. But when we stepped into the first hall, I understood that it's a very interesting building, and also further on, what we could see, I could see that it was very interesting. And also, at the end of the feature, there was the exhibition that was mentioned. There were projections, there were interactive elements where you could see certain things and exhibits, so you could, kind of play with it or interact with it. And that's what struck me. And also the interview with Braňo and how he talked about the institute. That's why I chose this topic. You also put your own commentary. Why did you choose this format? Usually I like to do things myself, all the things myself, and obviously there was a need for a commentary so that it made more sense. So I wrote the text, and I, made the commentary. I think if I had the chance, I would ask someone more professional to do it. No, but I mean, your voice, is a really beautiful, very deep tone. So I think you could work with your voice also in other features. So what do the professionals think?
I want to say once again, it just feels like watching the news. It's really well done. I wanted to say as well, like just as you did, the storytelling. It has to be for those who are watching. You have to think they don't know anything at all. So just as you did, you talked about the story, and the shots were great, and the behind the scenes shots are very important as well to guide you through the clip, and also beautiful interpretation, talking over it. So
thank you.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, if you're, touchy about your voice, what is helpful is to have more sounds from the environment to take the pressure of focus less on just the voice. Yeah, that would be helpful. But excellent and great camera work. Yeah.
Thank you.
Teď jsem chtěla začít mluvit anglicky.
Okay, I was going to start in English. I really like that you took a topic that is maybe not so popular and might not be that attractive for the young generation, but you took it, you wanted to, highlight certain things. Maybe there are certain, roots that are very important for the country, and young people being interested in old manuscripts. I think that's a strong message there. Thank you.
Ku kamere by som sa asi nemal vyjadrovať.
Okay, as regards the camera work, I shouldn't say anything. Well, it was under the guidance of professionals. Okay, so there were some shots from me and Tomáš. I think you found the right shots, the right images for the text, to accompany the text. I think that you reflected the text with the right images. So well done. And maybe music. I would have used music, and I would have prolonged a little bit the cuts. And also your narrating is very kind of calm. So to make it kind of like smooth, to give it this atmosphere, to reflect the atmosphere invoked by narrating. But given the fact that this was like someone else's material, I think you perceived it very well, you know it very well, and some people don't know how much work it is behind it. There is behind it. Okay, I would just like to add to what Jan has said. Again, completely agree. And I don't really want to teach you something now, but also, as I have said in other workshops to my students, I want to motivate you. And here, as you are standing here, in front of us, I would just like to encourage you. Yes, go for it. You can work in this sphere. You've got a talent, and I think there is this seed that can grow. So fingers crossed, and good luck. And just two sentences. Yes, Branislav, you are smiling. Okay, môže byť, as they say in Slovak. Okay, and let's continue with Koleta Kavková. Let's see her feature.
V Reykjavíku vyrastá nový filmársky talent.
A new film talent is rising in Reykjavik. The 16 years old Magnus is not stopping.
Be a director, I will just go with the flow, see what happens. The story about the first movie I made was about an immigrant that falls in love with a girl that's also an immigrant, but then at the end she doesn't get her green card, so then she has to leave Iceland, and then it just becomes a lot of problems. I got the finance through a company called Rannis, which gives money to a lot of different groups, like for young people that are making projects. And they send my mother an email that they can give me money if I want. So we asked for the money and they give it to me. My plan for the second movie is about a kid that goes to a new school and gets new friends, and the kid is gay, and he gets into a lot of trouble with drugs and violence. I find my inspiration through a lot of things, like for music. Sometimes when I'm playing the piano, I get ideas for scenes, or just when I'm talking to my friends and they start coming with ideas, and then we get an idea for a movie.
Koleta, ako vznikol nápad práve o ňom
Koleta,
robiť túto
how did you get
reportáž,
this
aké to
idea
bolo rozprávať sa
for
s tými
the
študentmi
feature?
a
How was it
vlastne
to
vo vašom
discuss or
veku
talk
ste
to
tí
the
študenti,
students?
s
Because
ktorými ste robili
you
večer
share the
rozprávky.
same age.
Jeho som si vybrala preto, lebo sa mi páčilo,
I
že
have
má len
picked
16
him
rokov
because
a už
I
spravil svoj
liked
prvý
that
film.
he's only
A tá
16
jeho
years old
ambícia
and he
proste
already
tvorí,
has
lebo
made
už
his first film,
momentálne
and this is
pracuje
his
na druhom a
ambition to
hovoril mi
create. He
sám
has
potom,
been working
keď
on
sme
the
už
second film
natáčali, že
already,
už rozmýšľa aj
and
nad
then after the
tretím.
shoot he
Takže
told me he
tá
already
jeho
thinking
snaha
about the
proste tvorí
third
bolo
one.
niečo
So
také
this effort
inšpiratívne.
to create,
Celkom
this is
by ma
what was
zaujímalo, že či ostali
inspirational
nejaké
for me.
prepojenia, kontakty, že či
And
ste aj si
did
možno
you stay in
pomíhali
touch or
sociálne
any
siete a možno práve
connections,
z toho
maybe
si kontaktovali?
socials and so on? Yes, yes, we follow
Takže nám
one
dáš vedieť
another on
potom feedback tým
Instagram.
filmom,
Okay,
dobre?
cool. So you will inform us
Ale tam
when
bol
his
trošku problém so
second film
zábermi, že
comes
vlastne
out.
s tým
And but you
filmom
had
som sa
some
od neho
issues
potom
with the
žiadala
shots
zábery.
because you
Takže
had
ako
to
to prebiehalo, keď
ask
sa
for the
dávala
shots
celé
from the
vedľa?
film and so on. So how did
Tak
all of this
napísala
come
som mu, že by
about?
som vlastne mohla
I
položiť jeho
wrote him
zábery,
whether I
ale
might
tiež som aj
use
napísala,
his
že môže to byť
shots,
ako
but then I
taká
also
dobrá skúsenosť,
explained that
pretože
it could be a
aj
good
ostatní ľudia, ktorí tu
experience,
sedia alebo ktorí aj pozerajú tento live
because then
stream,
also
videli,
the
čo
others
on tvorí a
who
trošku sa aj
will watch
keď
his
mu pošleš potom
feature
túto
can get
reportáž.
closer to him. Will you send him this feature? Yes,
Čo
I
na to
will.
vravíte na túto prácu?
And how would you comment? How would you review her piece? Well, I am thrilled. Again, music.
Trošku úrovne treba ho tam ustrážiť.
And maybe the levels have to be controlled a little bit and the entrance and so on. But what I liked was that there are so universal. I have a lot of cameramen colleagues who are insecure in some other areas. Okay, maybe editing and so on, but to find the right ideas to basically carry out the interview. So all of you sitting here, everything we have seen so far is very like universal. It's surprising that that you are students of art schools with a large scope and you cover a lot, so we can feel it. Yes, and you are really all-rounders. You were screenwriters, editors, camera people, 5 of you editors. So very, very genius work, I have to say. And yes, you could also use external material and work with it, so you are already able to handle. So multifunctional. Yes, very good. I'm happy.
Yeah, I want to add. Może być?
Pokračujeme.
Może być? No, I just want to say, obviously, I'm not making videos, but very good job. And I want to say, as a musician, I really love to have music and audio underneath when you're talking. It like creates a story, makes more depth, and it's very nice when you connect what you're saying to what you're showing. And I think you did great there as well. So, good job. Veľmi dobre.
I want to add that Magnus, he is bilingual. He speaks Spanish with his mother and his brother, and the film was also bilingual. So it is a unique thing because he recorded with his peers in Icelandic with Spanish subtitles. Great representation of the minorities living in Iceland. So there is this kind of social topic and seeing it through the eyes of this immigrant, or like his family were migrants. So very authentic. His film, his story, very inspirational for other countries, for other contexts.
Yeah, I agree with what's been said here, and I just have to say that the most important thing when you're doing something like this is picking something that inspires you and is interesting. And I think you did that, and that, yeah, that's a great thing.
Yeah, I just want to add exactly what Hallur said. What I was thinking, find a topic that really inspires you and something that people, are interested to see. So, yeah, great job.
Tommy?
Ja ale musím dodať to, že dúfam, že sa vidíme.
I need to add that I hope I see you for the next workshop, so we can work on all the topics that you can supply us with. And this is valid for everyone, for all of you. Looking and watching your pieces is very important because we can discover where we can continue what you are an expert in, what you are really good at, and we can evolve further. That's why this first course in Iceland was extremely important. Let us continue with number 4 from Maros Ružička.
My name is Sabina Westerholm. I'm the director here at the Nordic House, and I come from Finland and moved here to Iceland to work in the Nordic House. So the building is built in 1968. It is designed by the Finnish architect Alvar Aalto. And he was a very well-known architect when this house was built, and he was asked to design this Nordic culture house in Iceland, which he was very interested in. And it is actually protected by the Icelandic authorities. So we have been through a big renovation the last years, but nothing has been changed. So the house is exactly like when it opened in 1968. So the Nordic House is an institution under the Nordic Council of Ministers. The Nordic Council of Ministers is the former cooperation between the Nordic governments. And the Nordic House is one of 5 culture institutions, and actually the oldest one of the culture institutions under the Nordic cooperation, and has as objective to present Nordic art and culture and public discussion here in Iceland. So the exhibition Is This North? Shows perspectives of artists from the whole Arctic areas, all the way from Alaska to Siberia. And I think the strongest message there is to listen to the people that live in these areas, that are indigenous and has the knowledge and the viewpoints that we need when we make discussions and decisions about these areas. It's really important to listen to the people that knows how it is to live there and what works there and what doesn't work there. So we have a library here in the Nordic House, but in the library we also have this Artotek, which is a collection of graphic art from Nordic graphic artists. It was a donation soon after the house opened, already in 1971. The Nordic House received this donation by the Nordic Graphic Art Association. And with the donation, it was stated that these works needs to be able to be borrowed to people. So everybody that has a library card here can also borrow art from the Nordic House. For 3 months, you can have these artworks in your house.
My name is Hrafnhildur Gissurdóttir. I'm Icelandic from Iceland, and I do mediation and pedagogy here at the Nordic House for different groups. We can find all sorts of different exhibitions, both visual art and exhibitions in connection to Nordic literature at the library. At the visual art exhibition, we have now film and video works as well. The question that is raised with this exhibition is this North? And it's an exploration of people living in the Arctic Circle. We have great works by, for example, Maria Helander, who is a Finnish and Sami artist. Her work is called Birds in the Earth and is about the identity crisis and criticism on current affair in Finland towards the Sami. In general, the exhibitions are about 2 a year in the Kvelving Art Exhibition Hall. We have international artists and curators that work here with us, presenting different artists from the Nordics with concepts relating to the North and the Nordics current affair. The message from this exhibition is different forms of injustice that indigenous people have faced in the Arctic Circle.
Takže Artotéka.
Well, Artotek, this is what we need in Slovakia, at least one, or in every city, so we can also borrow works of art. I think this is a unique place. It only exists in Iceland, right? Have you investigated? As far as I know, there is nothing similar in Slovakia. Would you welcome it here? It would be great if we could really change all the works of art in our homes. What did inspire you, or you visited the exhibitions? How did you feel? The exhibitions were great. You can really find out a lot of facts, and as has been mentioned about the ingenious people, and also showing the crisis they are experiencing and how you could maybe help them. And the question was, is this North? Is it still the North, or is something going on there? I mean, it is almost philosophical questions. How did you find creating this piece? You must have had a lot of material. Yes, I had 2 respondents. That's why the piece is a bit longer. It could have been shorter maybe, or shorten the commentaries, but what I found important when cutting and editing, I really needed to keep it there, so also the audience can really listen to their exact words. Yes, this is what we beginners usually do. Okay, let us start with Tom, with you, Janko. I would like to comment maybe the technical side or aspect. We in Košice we have color grading, and also in Bratislava. So please take this piece, this feature, to color grading, because it deserves it. A good editing, the interview has a start and an ending, the topic is surprising, and I would really love to see this also on public TV, if we can place it somewhere, but we need to work, fine-tune it technically as well, because you are shortly before the finishing line, but just this color grading could, give it, from the technical aspect, so it fulfills what it needs. So this is what's still missing a bit. Thank you. So we meet there tomorrow, right? Okay. Yes, but it was not only our shots, but there were others. It is you have to select the shots according to what you find fitting, but you have so much materials, also the material that you're recording, so maybe in the features from the second course from OPD, they used your Osmos because they like them more than our shots. But anyway, congrats. I like it. Maybe a little bit of fine-tuning and we can have it on TV. Yes. I mean, exactly, for TV, Regina. As for the contributions, it was a very democratic selection of shots. He could have picked anything. So we were not somehow selecting your shots, my shots, their shots. He had access to everything, to all the materials. It was up to him to choose the material. It was not an obligation to use our shots. And sometimes it is not possible to have 5 to 7 cameras recording at the same time. So sometimes we need one, and then you have to select and put it all together. Last thing for the audience here, I mean, the raw material is that we You don't even know who was shooting what. And this is the point. So we don't want them to look for their own shots. Of course, they can recognize their own shots, but the point is, it is a big folder in the computer with maybe 40 different subfolders, and this is what they need to work with. This is the technical aspects. We don't have to go too deep into those. I think we have really experienced, talented people here who also, as for the script, after the 4 or 5 weeks, you are more experienced than in the beginning, and so you created a really nice contribution. So let's review also how did they handle the whole topic.
I understand all the Slovak. I agree with what you said. You're professionals, but very great job, very nice interview and interesting, nice shots. I would say once again, maybe because I'm a musician, I love to hear some sounds, like some music, or to make some depth and hear the background noise or something like that. And I think it's just a point for everyone, and also like to keep the attention. It's nice to have some behind the scenes, just as you had. And I also would love to have like maybe behind the scenes of people walking, and like, you know, the person that you're taking interview walking in the building and pointing somewhere. It's nice, but very good job.
Já bych zase se chtěla vyjádřit vlastně k tomu tématu.
I want to comment on the topic. I think this is very transferable. It is a cooperation of all the Nordic countries, and the exhibition is how to give voice to minorities, to the indigenous people. In our Central European context, it's a great idea that could be captured by someone, grabbed, and maybe create something similar, cultural, language, facility that would connect the countries, but also Icelanders watching the features to see how, like somebody who is new, how do they understand the country. So maybe to show also to the Icelandic population how we perceive them. Of course, we have mentioned first you need to maybe leave your culture behind to also find your inner self, and I think these kind of student pieces do have great potential for the future. Let's hope we can continue.
Yeah, I just want to say I know how difficult it can be to edit an interview, to stay focused and keep the discussion within time limits and all that, but still maintain a line, and you did that well. Regarding the color grading, it's important because filmmaking is a lot about trust. The audience has to trust the filmmaking, and then he makes a connection. So for me, that's an important point from them. Okay, thank you. Well done. I love the Nordic House.
Veľmi pekne ďakujem Marošovi Ružičkovi a predposledný.
Thank you very much to Maroš Ružička, and the last but one is Michal Söke.
Vetlaskóli je základná škola v Reykjaviku.
Vetlaskóli is a primary school in Reykjavik. It is well known for including children from different language and cultural backgrounds, and it puts an emphasis on inclusion and equal access to education. And that's why we asked different questions to the students. Do you have any favorite subject?
Passion or like a favorite class, but math teacher is very nice, so I think I would say math. But like it's not of a passion, but the class is very nice, it's quiet, the teacher is good, so yeah.
Čo milujete robiť po škole, keď zazvoní?
What do you love doing after school?
Like where kids can after school like go and meet up. It's like 4 times a week, and it's really fun.
It's a place for teenagers from 2 schools, our school and a second school. It's near us, and there we can just meet we can make some new friends.
Čo máš zo všetkého najradšej na tejto škole?
What do you love best about this school?
Personally, for me, maybe not for everyone, I loved it. It like relived all my childhood here, and I learned a lot of things, earned a lot of friends. So yeah, that's what I love.
I loved about this school is like it has a lot of ways to
encourage kids to work.
Čomu sa venujete vo voľnom čase?
What do you love doing in your free time?
Just viewing social media, playing video games, all that casual stuff.
Karate and EA sport and hiking. We also hang out a lot and playing video games together and just have a conversation.
Kde sa vidíte v budúcnosti?
Where do you see yourself in the future?
My life will be pretty good with all the family and friends I have here to encourage me to build up everything that I have and that I won't be alone.
I see myself in the future having a good life, being with my friends, family, hopefully still them with me.
Vetla školy nie je len miestom výučby, ale
Villa School is not just a place of instruction, but also a place where you can feel included and respected, irrespective of your background.
Aby prišiel k nám.
I would like to ask Michal to come up here.
Ale videli, tak netvoril si tento
As we could see, you didn't do this just by yourself, but there were others who helped you.
Ako to vznikalo?
So how did this come about? Yes, originally I recorded it myself, but then I consulted it with professionals, and they told me that it's good, but it could be even better. So I got in touch with Alica and Emma, who helped me a lot, and I think they put like the cherry on the pie, you know, it's nicer, it's softer. So we're comparing Iceland and Slovakia. What surprised or struck you when you were talking to young people, especially in this school? What caught my eye was that they were quite similar to us, but they had like a better or more open mindset from childhood. You know, they meet people from different parts of the world, so they have to learn how to, live with them. And, so we are all similar. They are like, we are very homogeneous, and over there are different nations and maybe also more respect. Did you see more respect? Yes, I did. I think it was like a great group of people, no prejudice, and that was fantastic. And what's your opinion about this feature?
Na Islande sme mali veľmi nabitý program.
We had very tight schedule in Iceland. And the ideas for the features sometimes emerged very spontaneously. But then we had another, program. So Michal did not have that much time, to shoot images that would illustrate this feature. So I think he did it quite cleverly. The material that he had also from other sources, from the school's website, I think, we could see that, okay, they are not professionals yet, but they were able to find the materials to cover this topic. And I would say that I would like to see Michal as a creator of a audio-visual postcard, maybe from the beach. I think this is something he would be good at, but despite that, I think he did very well with this feature. I think he cooked it up very nicely, with the ingredients he had. Definitely, I agree. And I would add that you were trying to build a house without the bricks, but we can see that people from TV who work in this area, they have to be very clever. So congrats and just go for it.
I agree with everything you said. It was amazing. I finally got my music underneath, fellow musician. It was nice to have the music to have the depth in it, and all these interviews with different people was really nice, really passionate interviews. So I think it's really cool, and you got the story and everything. So great job.
Mně se líbilo vidět tu školu, kterou velmi dobře.
What I liked was to see a school that I know very well because we teach Ukrainian, Serbian and Polish on Saturdays there, and I like to see the life of school. So it illustrated very well, you know, the way it works, you know, the corridors, what they look like, I mean, the children, how they feel. And I think we could see the relationships between those people. It wasn't just one person, you know, you could see that they are friends, that they care about each other. So very nice. And Inga, I think that they would really appreciate if they could receive this feature. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they've said it all pretty much, but what I liked is seeing kids talking on TV. It's so important for us to listen to them and for them to get their voices heard, and I loved it. Thank you.
Ďakujem veľmi pekne aj my, Mišo Söke.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Michal Söke. And last but not least, Vratko Varga. My name is David Tencer. I come from Slovakia. I've been a missionary in Iceland for 20 years. I came here as a member of the Capuchin order. And for 10 years, I've been a bishop in Reykjavik. I think here faith is a gift you receive from the Lord. But if you make an effort, you can do something with that gift, because everyone receives that gift. And how can a person find his faith? I would say that it depends very much how you see the world. Like, for example, a butterfly. When you see this beautiful creature, you cannot imagine how this could just originate without God's work. St. Thomas Aquinas, he has a theological essay on how the God can be known or can show himself in the beautiful things around ourselves. So the man can understand that the Creator loves him since he prepared such a beautiful world for him. I wouldn't be able to answer the question how I found my faith because I got it from with my mother's milk. You know, I was breastfed faith. We were told to pray, to go to church. We never had to discuss whether we would go to church or not. What we discussed, whether we would go to the small or the big mass. You know, we preferred the small or the short mass because then we could spend the rest of the day playing football, but it was part of our life. You know, faith has always been part of my life, and if you should distinguish real faith from illusion, it's not easy for the man to do, and that's why it's good if you have someone to talk to about it. And the best is to talk to experts. If, for example, a doctor studied medicine, then obviously he or she will be able to help. And if I wanted to talk about my faith, whether it's real or an illusion, then I would definitely turn to a priest, because every priest had to study theology. So, whether theology is a science, just like geology or philosophy or other sciences, and you have to study them, and theology is just the same science you have to study. And whether that person lives by faith, well, that's, you know, their business, but the priest can say that, no, this is just delusion, this has nothing to do with faith, or these are real elements of faith.
Na záver sme sa trošku stíšili tých záberov.
Okay, to conclude, we could see a different topic. I guess there were not that many images you could use. Well, I didn't really take it as a feature, but as something that I was interested in, and also those questions were posed in a way that I was really interested in these things, and I think that he was talking very well, and I would like to make a feature out of it, but unfortunately we didn't have much time for some shots to illustrate the topic, but I preferred to listen to what he was saying and to kind of absorb his aura or the calmness he was evoking. So why did you choose this topic? You say that you ask these questions. Why were you interested? Well, religion and spiritual things have always been something I've been interested in all my life, and so it's very important for me to meet people like this, and also in my free time, if there's an opportunity, I try to do it. And for me, this was a very interesting opportunity because all his life, how long he's been there and what he does there. This was something very interesting for me. I had a chance to talk to him also after the shooting, and we talked for an hour about it. Okay, we always say about young people, how fast they are because, well, we're living fast times, and maybe that sometimes they do not have time for a deeper analysis. And look at this feature. What do you think about it? Something just occurred to me. There was this British group, the Police, the band, and Andy Summer was the guitarist, and he played in a way like he always just indicated, like he implied how good a guitarist he is. So Vratko implied how good he is. But we'll hear more about him. I know about you. I know that you're a cameraman and that you shoot your own documents. As regards the technical details, I think everything can be learned, can be fine-tuned. Yes, you're right that David is someone very, nice and interesting to listen to. Maybe I would use more shots, less of him as well. But I think this topic is very exceptional. Very nice. Well done.
Veľmi dobre. Very, very nice topic. And I love the shot when he was walking in the church. I think it's very important to have these epic shots, where you really catch the focus, and the audio once again got the song. I'm really happy. I saw that the camera was moving a bit. Maybe I was stressed to talk to him, but other than that, great storytelling, great interview, and really nice job.
Já si myslím, že tam bylo krásně vidět, že on mluví.
I think that you could see very well that there was a dialogue, that he was talking directly to you, that he was talking to you. It wasn't like something objective. He was explaining something to you. So it's maybe a different type of a feature that, okay, you are not visible there, but you are present. So I like that about it.
Yeah, I agree with my fellows here, and very interesting to see, because this is not something we in Iceland see a lot of from inside the Catholic Church in Iceland. It's very fresh for me, so thank you.
Vratko, when we were talking about people who can contemplate, if you are gonna be a cameraman and you will be like contemplative, I think that all the editors will want to work with you. Congratulations to all the students, because you have worked very hard. You've done a great job in 5 weeks, the progress you made, and we could see it, how you were when you entered these workshops or ateliers. It's great, and the language is a key to culture, and part of the course was also brochure on learning Icelandic language. It will be presented by Branislav Bedi. Thank you very much. I would like to show this brochure for people, for beginners who would like to learn Icelandic language. But I would just like to remind you, language is about us, and this brochure is for all of us. We should remember that we learn a language all our lives. We perceive language through talking to people, through our senses. So this book is for all of us. There is certain gender equality. There are elements of current language, modern language, and not just with some, questions and personal pronouns for, male, female, nude and neutral, but also for non-binary persons. So this book offers learning of Icelandic through touch, hearing, taste, sight and smell. So all our 5 senses. And I would like to ask you, if you are interested, you can download it from Studio 25 Iceland website as a PDF. And we've got these brochures here as well. You can have a look. And if maybe it's not something you're interested in, maybe you can pass it on to someone else so that we can support the learning of Icelandic. We know that Icelandic is one of very few languages that preserve certain world heritage. We learn about from old manuscripts, and that teaches us that there are different symbols, different philosophies, like the Nordic philosophy, Nordic gods, and through that, we receive more and more information in music or in films. Thank you very much.
Niečo som už pochytila. Ak sme hovorili o tom islandskom jazyku,
well, we discussed the language that you can
brožúrku, tak ak by ste sa chceli dozvedieť viac na našom YouTube
and also from the brochure you can also find out more on our YouTube course, and you can see some information that was also in Banská Bystrica and Košice, and we will be happy if you watch the recordings from our workshops. Now, YouTube channel. I have mentioned the YouTube channel, then I wanted to remind you of the documentary, because documentary is the biggest piece of art, and it will be broadcast at 11:45 on April 20. It will be on the second channel of the Slovak television. And now a small trailer that most of you have not seen until now, and I'm happy to find out what you think about it.
Krajina ľadového kráľovstva. Ohromujúca.
The country of ice kingdom. It is harsh, but also mystical and calm. Slovak television and radio presents a country of friendly people, a dynamic, full of culture, ecological and self-sustained.
Krajina, v ktorej zmrzlina
a country where ice cream is the best when it's snowing, where time runs differently, and where locals don't use umbrellas, and where people don't, or where the sun never comes down, and where the music sounds differently, the coffee smells differently, and where you can be impressed by aurora, where the most color is not gray.
Sme študenti z rôznych stredných...
We are students of different secondary schools and high schools from Slovakia, and we got this unique opportunity to participate in the project called Studio Iceland 25, where creative centers of the Slovak television and radio are participating. So it was our willingness to learn new things, and together with our tutors, we are traveling to a country where the rules are governed by natures and where locals believe in the good of all people. We have never been here before, but we have been fascinated by this country, and we want to get to know it with our own eyes, and we want to show it to you and how we felt it, we smelt it, we heard it, and how we perceived and experienced it. We want to show you the fire, the ice, and the story of this country. What do you say?
Autorkou tohto dokumentu a scenára...
The author of this documentary and screenplay is Silvia Koščová, who really spent hours on perceiving everything, all the cultures, all the situations, and to bring you, but also people of Iceland, to show you this 26 minutes long documentary. She has never been to Iceland, and I really had goosebumps when I went into the editing room, and I could see after 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes what they have created, and I really felt these goosebumps even now. I'm really looking forward to it, to watching this documentary, and we will also have it on our webpage, Studio 25 Iceland, with Icelandic subtitles, and we are really happy that it will be also shown on the public television or broadcast in Iceland. And this is the closing of our project, but our ambition is to continue. We want to expand, and we want to also enroll it into other creative centers, to Banská Bystrica and Bratislava. We want to have a mobility between Slovakia and Iceland. We want to have new partners, and we want to work on topics connected to Iceland, and we maybe also expand this initiative to other countries. So we will be happy if you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and on our webpage. So dear guests, esteemed guests, friends of Iceland, and everybody who was with us since 10 o'clock in the morning and who have experienced this project, and now we have come to the end of today's conference or meeting, and I want to say thank you to everybody who has participated on this pilot project Iceland 25. Thank you to the guests from Iceland for all your input, valuable input. Thank you for coming. Thank you to partners, the Slovak Radio and Television, to Standing Conference, to Modulmar, and everyone, to all the partners. Thank you also to the tutors, consultants, and experts for their expertise, and also thank you to the students for being active, for their interest, for being creative, and thank you for your engagement. And let's hope you will continue in creating also in the following year. Thank you for the technical support and organizational team, and all the guests here for your attendance. And thank you to everyone who was following us also on the online stream. Thank you to the guests and everyone. And now, please, Renata Pešková, Olga Kocianová, Iveta Licha, Branislav Bejdi, Halormar, and also Viktor, please come to the stage. And Kristina Domaňová and Daniela Čorbová will give you a small present.
Ešte chvíľočku ostaňte, ak vás môžem poprosiť. Asi aj na fotografiu.
Please stay with us. We will take a family picture.
na záver by sme teda ešte
And
chceli
to conclude, we would like to thank also Daniela Chorbová, who was the bridge connecting us and us in the team. It was really hard work with us. We touched bottom, and but now I watched the trailer with tears in my eyes. But without Daniela, it would not come about, and also without the others. So Daniela, you are really a top person. Thank you for everything.
Ja vám ešte raz veľmi pekne ďakujem, pozývame vás aj na
A last thank you to everyone. We are inviting you now for lunch and networking so we can continue. My name was Diana Gabrikova, and see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.